Hi, everyone. Manuela Marcheggiani from Isomer Skincare. Welcome to my podcast, Confessions of a Cosmetic Chemist. In today's podcast, we're going to talk about something that's very interesting to me. I really like to take a deeper dive into this because I do think this is a very relevant topic and very important. And it is mental health and skincare and the connection between skincare and mental health. And I know a lot of people may not believe that having a good skincare routine is going to help you mentally, because we talk about mental health a lot. That has been coming more in the forefront. People are becoming much more aware. It's much more open conversation. And so because we're doing this, we're actually looking at different parameters of what can help people. Do routines help people? Does a skincare routine help people? What is the evidence behind this? Why does it work? Because I guess when you have some kind of structure, some kind of routine and a purpose, that starts to sort out your mental health, right? Because when you're aimless and you don't have a routine, you don't have a purpose, you don't have a goal, you don't have a schedule, this is where we have chaos. This is why children thrive with boundaries, right? With rules and boundaries. And I think as adults too, we need more rules and boundaries around certain small things like a skincare routine, like our daily calendar, like what we're doing daytime, in the afternoon, and at nighttime. And when we have this kind of setup, are we happier? Are we thriving? Are we healthier? Are we better focused? Are we more productive? When we're more productive, we're moving forward. Do we feel better about what we're doing? Okay, so there are two studies that I want to talk about right here, understanding and the mental health here. So one is from PubMed, and one is the physiological benefits associated with facial skincare, well-being from emotional perception to neuromodulation. So the study here aims to demonstrate the specific nature of well-being induced by a facial skincare by deciphering its physiological and psychological impacts out of a therapeutic context. So what does this mean? What does skincare do for you? How does it make you feel? How is it going to resonate? Can they measure it? Is this a real thing? So they basically had a group of 32 participants. They had 1 hour facial skincare. A second group of 31 participants only had rest. So basically meditation. So one group got the facials, the other group got meditation. So one group got touched and manipulated, the other group were left to think and to sort their thoughts out, right? The results: physiological relaxation was observed after both experimental sessions. However, the effect was higher after the facial skincare. So what were the results? The results demonstrated that both groups benefited. So the idea of relaxation works on both. So if it's a timeout, a meditation, if it's a facial. However, it also indicated that the facial had a better outcome. They had better markers. There's going to be more relaxation and more benefits. So here we go. The effect was higher after facial skincare. The cerebral, cardiac, respiratory, and muscular relaxation induced by facial skincare was 42%, 13%, 12%, and 17% higher, respectively, than that induced by the resting condition. In addition, nonverbal and verbal assessments showed that positive emotions were more markedly associated with the perception of facial skincare. So what does this mean? That means, yes, when you are literally having a facial, when you are inducing this routine, the connection, the touching, the massage, the application of product, and going through these steps. So it's not just the massage itself, but also going through a specific sequencing of steps seems to have a total benefit, right? This is like the mind and body. It's going to affect your blood pressure. It affects your breathing. It affects, what else does it affect here? Cerebral, cardiac, respiratory, and muscular. That's a lot. That's a lot of positive effect with skincare. The next study that I'm going to talk about here, skin health is a mental wellness issue. This talks about the next chapter of wellness will be mind, body, beauty, where mental well-being and physical appearance are interconnected. A new report points out just how critical the physical mental condition or connection is, particularly for people of color. The study conducted in August 22 via a web-based survey featured 775 participants with 64.6% identifying as having skin of color. The majority of respondents were female, 94%, and Black African American, 76%, with the largest age group being 18 to 24 years old. That was about 48%. Of those suffering from acne, more than 70% had received negative comments about their condition or appearance. Well, just think about that. Even without a study, just think about if you've got a skin issue like acne and people are criticizing you, you're not going to feel good about yourself. You're not going to feel good at all. We don't really need a study to determine this, right? You're going to know that when people are adding salt and pepper to your wound, this is not going to be fun, right? So that is going to weigh on you. And I know we tell people don't take things personally, but when you are actually not feeling 100%, a lot of times you can only take it personally because you're going to just look in the mirror and say, well, this is what they're picking on, especially if they are making it personal. So I can see this. And 40% had been suffering the condition for more than 10 years. Furthermore, nearly 74% suffered from post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. Very common when you have acne that you're going to have redness and irritation and inflammation. So you're going to suffer from post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. And therefore, that's only going to make the problem worse because it's like, I've got this acne and now I have hyperpigmentation. People are looking at me, although people will say, I don't even pay attention to that. We think they do. And that's all that matters is what is our experience, because that's the story we're telling ourselves. Some of what they hear, yes, but the story that you're telling yourself is going to affect your perception of you and therefore your mental health and your mental well-being. Of those suffering dark spots, nearly 50% had received negative comments from someone close to them, while nearly the same amount of respondents felt depressed due to the presence of dark spots. Those suffering atopic dermatitis, eczema, reported missing social activities due to their condition. Nearly 58% of respondents, while about 1/3 had edited images of themselves to hide their condition. Oh my gosh, this is like my story starting all over again. I remember not going to functions. I remember not going to prom, not going to events, not going to graduation. And if you actually do a deep dive in my photo archives, there is chunks of time missing. I didn't exist because I cut those pictures out. Those are gone. I get it. We've been there. We do this because we try to erase that because this is how we're feeling. That's, now that I think about it, it's too bad because I wish I actually had that to look at because it's not like now where they're digital and you could take them with you. These were like actual photographs in a photo album and it was easy to like not have another copy of it. Overall, 85% of participants rated their skin conditions as moderately to extremely bothersome, while 57% stated their skin condition affected their mental health. This is why I think it's important to understand the way I always say this and people giggle, but I don't think it's funny. I actually think it's very serious. If you don't like the way you look, you're not going to live the way you like. If you don't like the way you look, you're not going to live the way you like. You are not going to participate to things. You're not going to show up the same way. You're not going to wear the same clothes or do your hair the same way or the way you want to because you're going to try to hide or camouflage or disguise or distract. I wanted to be super smart and super helpful so people wouldn't have to look at me, right? So I went into overachiever mode to compensate for being not pleasing to look at. Like that's literally where my mindset was at when I was growing up, when I had the autoimmune issue, when I had the issues with my skin. I truly, firmly believe the mental health, skincare connection. I've seen it. I've walked this talk for over 40 years. I have 60 years now, where I have seen the effect of what your skin looks like, how you feel. This is why it's really important to have a good skincare routine. So there is science behind it. There is actual living studies that are going on and being conducted. And I'm glad to see, because, you know, growing up, when I was in my 20s or teens or 30s, we didn't have this conversation. We didn't talk about this. You're having this now. And a lot of people in their 60s and 70s and 50s are still feeling how the 20-year-olds are feeling. They're still feeling about how they look. They wish they had known more. Wish there was something they could do. Or my favorite line, it's too late. It's not too late. That's the good thing. You know, we talk about neuroplasticity, that they used to believe that you had to do everything before the age of 25 because then your brain was actually set and it would not learn after that. Well, now we know that that's not true. Now we know that you can learn. You can teach an old dog new tricks. There are things that you could do. You do have to change your perception. You do have to change your mindset. You do have to change your thinking. But these are all good things. So you stop going down these rabbit holes. But the same thing with skincare. Skincare can actually bring you back together to yourself, to feel good about yourself. Remember, if you don't like the way you look, you're not going to live the way you like. So let's do something about this. Let's do something where you like the way you look, that you accept the skin type you have, the condition it has, the age and stage that you're in. What is a system that you're going to use? You don't have to cover it up with a lot of makeup. Maybe just understanding its pH and its type and giving it what it needs. Skin responds. Remember, it wants to survive. It's the largest organ of your body, and it has a job. It's holding you together, and it's also performing a function. It's keeping you away from danger. It's giving you signals all the time. It needs to be in its optimum shape. It needs to be healthy. It needs to be whole. So you can feed it. You can feed it good stuff at any time, and skincare is the best way to feed it from the outside. Good diet on the inside, of course, too. The benefits of incorporating a self-care ritual. I think that COVID proved to a lot of people the importance of having routine. When our lives went upside down and we were all, sequestered, those that had routines, that still followed a skincare routine, a morning ritual, a nighttime ritual before going to bed, you cleanse your skin, you did your treatments, and yes, people stopped using, for example, makeup as much, or a lot of the decorative. But the hygiene parts, the good parts, where you have the hygiene and the cleanliness and the moisturizing, those were still followed, and those people had a better outcome at the end of this experience. So you want to be able to have a routine that you can follow, a routine that actually serves a purpose with a plan. So if you're looking at your skin, I really think that you need to look at your skin and say, okay, today I have this kind of skin, and tomorrow I want to have, or next week or next year, this is my plan. You have a plan for your skin. If it's dry and dehydrated and rough, okay, now you want to hydrate, smooth it out. Work that plan it out, and then follow that plan with the right ingredients and the routine. And the routine can be simple. Remember, it's cleanser, serum, cream, sunscreen. You don't really need more than that. You can get more sophisticated if you want, more complicated, but you don't have to. This is the beauty of this as well, because you can actually create your own routine that feeds you and nourishes you exactly how you need to be pampered and taken care of. Because you've got to take care of yourself. Nobody else is going to take care of you. You have to be your best advocate and understand and not give up on yourself, especially when you have skincare goals and you've got stuff to do. You want to get your skin and your skin issues off the plate, off the table, because you got other things to do that are more interesting and more exciting. You have adventures and memories to make, and you have things that you want to be out there and doing, and you can't worry about this. This has to be put together. That's our job as cosmetic chemists. So I'm hoping through the series and through the brand and the products, doesn't matter where you are on this planet. Maybe you don't have access to our formulas, but you will have access to versions of these ingredients, and look for these ingredients and find them and put them together and use them in a routine to benefit yourself. Doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter how much you have. You can start with a cleansing and a moisturizer. You can start with a cleansing and a sunscreen. And that alone will help with this connection. This ritual that you look at yourself in the mirror, this connection and this ritual of doing this and taking care of yourself, you value yourself enough to show up twice a day. That's huge, because you're that important. You value yourself to show up twice a day and do it. So that's going to increase your self-esteem. I think that when you start to see the changes, the positive changes, when you show up for yourself, when you have the routine, when you're doing this, you start to have a different narrative. And tell yourself different things. Don't look at the criticism. Look at all the things that are going right. Too many of us focus on what's gone wrong. This isn't enough. I don't like this, or someone didn't do this, or I was expecting that. What about I showed up, I'm here, this smells great, I love it, the lighting is great, it's a nice day. Think of what's going right today and use that as part of the ritual for your skincare routine. I guess the bottom line is that there definitely is a connection between skincare and mental health. People talk a lot about mental health, and they talk a lot about things that are happening to them and they're struggling. And I want to just say that taking small steps, believing in yourself makes a huge difference. Like not giving up on yourself and understanding that even these little things, because the small little wins, the showing up once a day to cleanse your skin and moisturize, take that as a win. And then doing it again and again for a week straight or 2 weeks straight, take that as showing how reliable you are, how important you are, how you can bring that connection to yourself. And then take it as how it's helping to send signals. Because this connection, I was told when I was really young, I was told that, why we touch our eyes first thing in the morning? Because it helps stimulate our adrenals. No one teaches us this. No one actually says, at the age of 3, every time you wake up now, touch your eyes for the rest of your life. And, this is no, we all do it instinctively, right? So we understand this instinctively as humans. We know to touch and to do certain things that stimulates, it sends signals. Our body is designed that way. So part of us as being humans and part of the hygiene part, that connection, face, body, that connection every day showing up. It's also going to be very beneficial too, because once you have a good skincare routine, or once you have a regular skincare routine with the cleansing and the moisturizing, the protecting, this increases your microcirculation. That's going to increase your lymphatic system. It's going to flush out toxins. There's going to be better cellular communication. There's going to be better nutrition going through. Everything will build upon that. It's like moving the needle just a little bit, and then you finally get to that destination. Don't take a big jump. None of us do. For where I started to where I am now, it's night and day. It is so completely different. And what changed? Skincare. If it wasn't for skincare, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be where I am in life in every single marker of my life, but every single element of my life. Skincare literally has changed my education, my lifestyle, my mental health, my connections, my future. I don't consider myself a vain or high maintenance person, but I do consider myself very well grounded and very driven and very focused and very success oriented. And I do believe it has a lot to do with this routine and staying connected to myself. A lot of times we are looking for external validation, where it's the internal validation that we need. We come in alone, we leave alone. So we need to learn to live with ourselves and really love and take care of ourselves. And I know it sounds like this is just so insignificant. It's just skincare. But can you not see that it literally is everything? Because it's you. And you are everything. And spending that time with you, I think, is the most important part that we really have to drill down with the skincare mental health connection. It's real. So when you're not feeling great, when you're feeling down, when you're feeling a little lost, you don't have to reinvent the world. You don't have to take a whole new course. You don't have to change neighborhoods. Maybe just start a good skincare routine and stick with it. Hope you enjoyed today's conversation. I look forward to your questions and comments. I really want to hear your stories, your struggles. What more can we dive into? How does it make you feel? Do you think there's a connection? Has it changed you? What more do you want to do with your skin or with the routines? Or how better can my conversations help you? Are there anything that I can do a little bit more of or research a little bit more or talk about from my own experiences that you think will shed some light on your path? Thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to talking to you again real soon.